Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 14 of the French Fox podcast. This is the most intimate French Fox cast of all time. And let me tell you why. Because today in the studio we have Dylan.
Oh, yes. I forgot what I was going to say. I had like a whole skit.
And I am Augie. Yes, that's right. We only have two people in here, but it's the two most important people. So I
would
think,
say so.
I think that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. This is the French Fox podcast, the podcast where five or two, in this case, great friends sit down and we talk for a little bit.
We do.
You know, about whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about our personal lives. Sometimes it's about what's going on in pop culture. We play competitions sometimes.
Head to head.
Am I missing anything? Sometimes I tell you whose birthday it is.
Sometimes Will eats like a turkey wrap.
Yeah, that was weird. And without further ado, just sit down, relax, play polo, or do whatever you do when you're listening to
polo?
podcasts. Shout out to Noah Terry for reviewing the show on iTunes. It means a lot. And let's roll the
Wait, did he give it which review? What review? What was the review?
The 5-star review.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, when you just say review, it could be 1 star. And I'm like, do we
I
really
would
wanna
still
thank
thank
him?
it for the
Huh.
feedback.
No.
Let's roll the intro.
French Fox. French Fox.
Yeah.
French Fox. French Fox.
Yeah.
French Fox podcast.
You know, I heard that our intro got nominated for Poddy.
What's a... That's a really unfortunate name, let me tell you.
You know, like the podcast awards, like an Emmy, an Oscar, a Tony,
Do we get to go...
Grammy.
Are we going to the potties?
No,
Oh. Wait.
Noah is because he's the music
Yeah,
designer.
but I sang in it, though.
Oh yeah, I guess we all did.
Yeah.
We're getting ripped off.
Wait, you know what should happen? It should be like when Idina Menzel sang at the Oscars for Frozen.
Oh, we should perform
Yeah,
it
we
live.
should go sing it.
I don't know if we could, even if we
Mm.
try. Like it was so improvised.
That's true, and that's why
That's
some of the harmonies are just not harmonies too.
Yeah. Well, all of them. But anyways, so, you know, we've never had a podcast that's this intimate. And I feel
It's
like it's
true.
perfect that the only two-person podcast that's ever been done here is us two.
Because
you know,
we're the only funny ones on the team. so-
Well, we go the furthest back.
yes.
And so, you know, Dylan and I, for those who don't know, just a little origin story, we met in kindergarten. Well, really
Yes.
pre-K kindergarten.
Well, only because we got held back from kindergarten.
Yeah, but it's like a different thing. It's like pre-K.
Oh, I never even knew. That's probably why I got held back, because I didn't even know that I was in
But you didn't.
pre-K kindergarten.
Anyways, we met then, and the first time we hung out, we played Charlie Around Christmas board game.
Yeah, and I have a traumatic memory of you left, and then I got like that weird feeling of when you're little and your friend leaves and you're like, what do I do with my life now? And I was eating pasta and I was like crying. I was like, I'm so bored.
Wow, you got really attached to me really
It
quickly,
was
huh?
more just about, I don't know, you gave me a weird vibe, and then you left and the weird vibe remained, and I was just like,
You were in a weird spot.
I was in a weird place, yeah,
So-
emotionally.
So we met then, and then we started hanging out more.
And it started with I think you actually, we both had an interest in movies. I think my interest was more in watching them, but then Augie started saying like, let's make movies, and I was like,
that what
yeah,
it
okay.
was? Because I can't really remember. Like before I met you, was I interested in movies, or was it like your dad, who is a wonderful man, Kevin,
Yes.
who would always like make movies with us, like with us as like the stars of them,
Oh,
like home movies.
so true. I skipped a whole chapter.
Because yeah, so
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 true.
we hung out a little bit, and then one of the first times that I like saw Kevin in action was they made this whole production for
Villain Star Galactica. Is that what
no,
you're
I
talking
was thinking of they were
Oh,
making a fake trailer
right.
for a big superhero movie for
about? I was
Dylan.
in like a saga of superhero movies that my dad made when I was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was very exciting.
Yeah.
And so I had never been in one because I wasn't that close with the
Mhm.
family yet, or with Dylan. But they were doing a whole giant trailer where like everyone in our kindergarten class
It's basically
was
like it was like they had all been just Super Dylan Saves Easter, Super Dylan Saves Christmas. So one was
Riveting stuff.
Yeah, one
I'm
was
serious.
Super Dylan
I'm not kidding.
Spider-Man, which was just I liked Spider-Man, so I was like, now I want to be Spider-Man. But that
Imagine
one,
if that happened in like a real superhero, like Spider-Man.
Batman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, just he wants to be a different superhero.
But then this one was like basically, I guess you could call it the Avengers or like the Infinity War, where it was like now there's different superheroes, which is just like let's include the other kids because.
It really predated Avengers.
It was really
I
people say Avengers was the most or Infinity War was the most
ambitious
crossover event in cinematic history. No, it was Super Dylan and the League of Heroes.
Anyways, so I went to this shoot that they were having at like a baseball field or something.
Yeah.
And they gave me a costume and I dressed up and there I was, and that was my first production with the Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started hanging out more, and then Kevin would make little things with us, and I think that's what spurred our video creating.
Yes, I think you're
thing.
right. I think then you got a camera for like a birthday or Christmas or something,
Something like that.
and then like just one of those old camcorders that people use for vlogs now.
Yeah, like one that like you like open it and it. Yeah.
And there's it's funny if you watch some of our old videos, which I think. You can find them sporadically. iRandom455. We'll get to that more, but there's some of our old videos are on there.
Yeah.
But you can see we tried to do multiple camera angles in some of our videos, but it was only the two of us, so it'll just be like there's only one of us in each shot.
Oh yeah, unless there's like a desk or something else to
then
be
you got
used
some really
as a
interesting
tripod.
angles. There's a lot of like what's it called? Is that a Dutch angle? I want to say. I don't know, that one angle where it's from the floor looking up.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Well, there's just like there's no moving shots of both of us because we were a 2-person team at the time.
Yes.
And we were for a long time. But so we made Kevin, bless his heart, would put us in stuff. All this random stuff, and I was a really shy kid at the time. I feel like you were a little bit more extroverted, but
yes.
like I wasn't even into like performing or acting or anything at the time. And then I feel like the big turning point was, and yes, basically this is a Dylan and Augie recount their history.
Yes.
podcast, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I feel like the big turning point was. We were in second grade, and we had a we took like a field trip to the Apple store for some reason.
Yeah,
like, I'm not really sure what kind of a field trip that is.
It was weird.
Like look at iPhones, but we
sponsored.
It was like they still have them actually, like these video creating camps with iMovie.
Yeah.
And so we went there on a second grade field trip.
It was on like the original iPad or something.
Yeah, or like
or an iMac,
something like that, because we were using iMovie. I think it was before iPads.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that was the first time we had kind of been in the creative seat, because I remember that's the first time we ever used iMovie or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like and I remember there was this one moment we were making a project about lizards.
Oh yeah.
And there was a moment where Kevin showed us. We had a clip of a lizard like opening its mouth, and Kevin showed us. He was like, "Watch this," and he took a sound effect of a lion roaring and put it on the as the lizard opened its mouth, and it looked like the lizard was like roaring, and like I just remember from that moment just being like. Movie making is amazing.
That was truly life-changing for me as well, because from that moment on, almost all of our movies have a moment where someone opens their mouth and it's a iMovie sound effect.
I mean, it's a classic thing. So from then on, we were iMovie fanatics.
Oh, yeah.
And I just remember
To this day,
we still edit everything we do on iMovie.
Our new movie is on iMovie.
I mean, same thing. Like a lot of people do. I mean, they use Final Cut Pro 10.
True.
I'm calling you guys out. Final Cut Pro 10 is a baby software or movie editing. Okay,
this is a little excursion from. This is just a brief break from the timeline, but it just ties in so well with what we were just joking about. I'm in a film program at my high school.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. But I won't plug it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. And for the most part, there are some really talented kids in there with me, so it's cool to make connections and stuff. Someone came up to me last year, though, and asked me for some editing advice. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I went over, and they are using none other than iMovie
Oh man.
to edit, and they don't see a problem with this at all.
Here's the thing. I will say I'd rather someone be using iMovie than Final Cut Pro 10 in the
True.
way where Final Cut Pro 10 is at least $100.
Yes.
And iMovie is free.
Well, here's the issue, because I don't want to sound so pretentious. I don't frown upon you using iMovie at all for your filmmaking. However, in this film class, we have free access to a better editing software. It's not as good as like Premiere, but it's DaVinci Resolve, and it's pretty good. So,
anyways, sorry for all the editing talk for those who have no idea what we're talking about. You probably at
Yes.
least know iMovie.
yes.
And shout out to all the creators on iMovie. You know, it doesn't matter what you edit
Or
your
not-
thing
yeah.
on, as long as you're making stories. But anyways,
yes.
we did that, and I was like, editing is amazing. Movies are amazing. So then we started making our own things.
Mhm.
And we also did a bunch of other stuff. Like Dylan and I at one point wanted to start a band. So we called it Wasian.
That had something to do with Club Penguin and
Yeah,
Wizard
something
hats.
like Dylan was trying to say wizard and he said like Wasian. And
Yes.
anyways, we just thought it was so cool. We made a total of 0 songs.
But 3 posters.
3 posters. We were always about the after. We could never really, until like recently, we could never really focus on like the first stuff you have to do. We would always be like, and after we make the movie, we can have the red carpet premiere instead of like,
Yeah.
how are we going to make the movie?
We instantly jumped to how we were going to market ourselves once the band got Beatles level famous.
Yeah, like what we were going to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started doing that, and I remember a funny part, a funny detail was Dylan. Whenever we were making like something for a movie, Dylan would always want to make just the trailer, and I would be like, no, we have to film like the scenes, like the story, and Dylan would be like, no, we just need like the specific things for the trailer.
I loved trailers so much. I still like a good trailer, but back then that was. I almost liked going to movies more to see the trailers.
So for our first like 3 years of filmmaking until like 3rd or 4th grade, it was all just from desktop cameras. Because I hadn't gotten that camera that Dylan referenced earlier. I hadn't gotten it yet, so it was
Yes.
all desktop cameras. And sometimes, rarely, we would get to use Kevin's camera, but that was. Even though it was pretty not that long ago, it was still one of those cameras where you had to like put I think it was a tape in or something where like you could accidentally record over other stuff. You had to like clear and like go all the way back.
Yeah.
We didn't use it a lot because it was really complicated, but it was like one of those things that was like long and like you
Yeah.
think of when you thought of like
It
pro.
was a big camera. I didn't even remember that we had that.
It was a beast.
It was a beast.
But anyways, so we were using desktop cameras, so our sets would only be in one place, either my living room or like Dylan's like other room.
But we would say how we fixed that is it's this great effect that we did where we just put a title card that says "Meanwhile somewhere else."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
we it didn't hold us back. It's
No.
not like we set every movie in a living room. In fact, they were never set in a living room.
No, I
They
don't
were
think we
always
once
set like
obeyed our limitations.
they were always set like in a street.
Yes.
Or
We actually, I completely forgot about this. We made a Harry Potter movie called The Adventures of William
no,
Potter.
we can't get there
What?
yet. That's a different
But that was
chapter.
on a desktop camera.
I know, but we started but it wasn't all on a desktop camera, and we started getting more advanced there because we used like a green screen.
That's what I was
and
going to
stuff
say.
Like that.
Oh, we're not there in the timeline yet.
No, we're not
Okay.
there. We'll get there.
All right.
So we started making stuff, and it was always like random trailers and stuff. And we also had a recurring series called
Salmonade, is that what we're on?
Well, that was a big one, but I was thinking just like the Super Biscuit stuff because we wrote a book.
True. We did write a book. It was 100 pages.
Well, it probably wasn't. It was probably like it probably felt like 100 pages, but
No,
in
we
reality, it
numbered
was like
I remember
40.
I was like, I mean, we wrote really big. But
Oh, okay.
I was, and I think the pages were one-sided. But I was adamant that they would be 100 page. They would be a
Wow.
100-page book.
Look at us.
Yeah.
And no pictures. It
And
wasn't a childish picture
no,
book.
No, this is an intense book. I do remember that it switched from first person to third person like every time we went back to writing
Well, of
it.
course.
So it would be like, Biscuit ran into the store. I stopped the villain. From the perspective of Biscuit always.
So then
My dog.
we went we kept making stuff, and then we started, really getting into our craft, and we made something called Salmonad, which was about robots taking
They
over.
were the Bionicle toys that you get from
McDonald's.
Yeah,
Happy
that's what we got
Meals.
them. We were like, we can make a movie with these.
Exactly. That's usually how we decided on movies. Like if we got a new toy, it was like we can make a movie with
Yes.
these. So we made that, and we couldn't figure out what to call it. So then we looked after minutes and minutes of deliberation.
Mm-hmm.
We looked over to our right, and we saw Domino's Pizza Box. And one of us had the wise idea to call it.
Reverse it, but I guess we
Yeah.
couldn't spell very well because Salmonad is not Domino's reversed.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Wait.
Oh no, it's
it's
Donimos.
Yeah, so we messed that up.
We took some creative freedoms. Okay, we weren't
Sonimod as good.
Sonimod is not as powerful.
I remember the distinct moment in like 4th grade a few years later when I was talking to one of our friends in elementary school, and we were like, "Yeah, it's actually Domino's spelled backwards," and they're like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "Oh, well."
We were very creative. We weren't the brightest.
Yes.
But we had good drive. So
Yeah.
anyways, we kept making that. We would always upload it on my YouTube. We had another hit called "Why Are You Staring at Us?"
Oh
which
yeah.
is one of my favorites to this day.
Really, it's very clever.
We're just like standing there, and we're like, "Why are you staring at us? Stop looking at
See,
us."
it's ironic because
because
Right.
it's a video.
really it's I think will be remembered as part of like an Enlightenment era. Of
Yeah. One of our trademarks, if you know it was our filmmaking, like Scorsese and everyone, they
Yeah.
all have their trademarks. One of ours was using a Jonas Brothers song
Yes.
in the credits.
There's always and in the opening credits too. Like there was
Yeah.
Salmonad has SOS playing while there's like narration about like the story.
It really
And
fits
the
with
narration
the
is
theme.
like the scientist was killed and never seen again. It's like
Ooh, this is an SOS. So there was that, and so we kept going, and we kept making stuff and uploading it, and then
this is a good story before we jump to the next phase after the toy filmmaking
Yeah.
phase. I do remember there was a distinct time. We used to always go to Disneyland for Augie's birthday because he's bougie.
I know where you're going with this
yeah,
because I
and-
also thought of this.
Yeah, and there were these awesome like plastic Clip Penguin toys that were actually really cool. But we got like sets at Disneyland. I think it was like the alien one and like a mad scientist and stuff. And we left Disneyland early to go to Augie's house and spend the rest of the day making like a not even stop
Not
motion.
stop
Our fingers
motion.
were in it.
Yeah,
It was just a movie with the Club Penguin toys.
and it was really good.
It was
too.
really good.
Really good.
Not a Club Penguin movie, just with them as
Just
props.
with them,
Yeah.
they were telling their own story.
Yes.
We weren't limited as we said before, but still the webcam camera. So we had to like build up a giant tower to make it so the toys were and our set was like at the same level as the camera.
Yes.
Anywho, so then I get a handheld camera for Christmas.
Revolutionary.
This was big. And I was so excited to use it. Once I got it, I just made a movie called The Boy Who Hates Christmas. Dylan wasn't involved. It is just literally just me walking around with the camera.
It's really a masterpiece, though.
Improvisation.
Mhm.
It's been studied for years, but
At USC, they analyze what makes it so beautiful.
yeah, that actually got me a full ride to the USC Film School. So I was a prodigy.
Yes.
However, made that, and then I came back home because I was in like Northern California where we were celebrating Christmas, and we came back.
Which you
I
hate.
came back. Yes, which my character hated.
Oh, of
I do
course.
not hate Christmas. My
Mhm.
character did. And we came back, and then we started making stuff, and we really loved doing the trick where you like drop a pen and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
reverse it, so
So
it's
you
like
like flip-
superpowers. So
Which
we-
then led us to make a movie called Powers.
which was I was thinking was one of our it was definitely a step up.
It was the first special effects movie, I think, or real, like it was dependent upon.
Yeah,
it.
and it had a story. Like we had
Yeah.
a beginning, middle, and end, and I feel like that was one of the first ones. And we used like different sets, and like we would go
Yes.
outside if it was a thing outside versus
Very
like all
true.
being in the living room. And we like creatively like use like different parts of my house as different houses because
Oh,
they
true,
can't tell.
yeah.
I hope no one thinks like we're like padding, like we're trying to like make
No,
ourselves sound
this
amazing.
is all.
Like
Whenever we sound like we're making ourselves sound awesome, it's probably ironic because it was the comedy and how
Yeah.
we thought we were awesome
Yeah.
at the time.
We really did. So then we started making more and more, and then we made the Wizarding World of
No, it was the Wizarding Adventure, I believe, of William Potter.
William Potter.
Harry Potter's brother.
Yeah.
Who was just not mentioned for some reason.
No, he was never mentioned.
It's like
he was
a
also
spin-offs.
Yeah. No Scar on this one.
No.
So Dylan was the kid, and we did a couple things. Like we used a real green screen, and we
Yes.
had him
Well,
we had him flying around.
It was a green poster.
It was a neon green poster board, but
Yes.
whatever
It worked,
works,
kind
whatever works, kind of worked.
Mhm.
So I filmed running around the house, and then we put him on
Which
a broom.
did make me fly backwards in the
Yeah.
actual product, but it was. It
and you
looked
could also
cool.
hear
We
my
were
heavy
happy.
breathing as I was
Yes,
running through.
That's the trademark. That's how you know it's an Augie Isaac cinematography piece.
Even sometimes with 240 reviews or French Fox,
Yeah.
there's still the heavy breathing, with the vlog when I'm editing office hours. It's trademark. But then we did that, and then starting in iRandom. So
Yeah,
we were obsessed with Tobuscus,
and iCarly. Well, wait.
but less.
Okay, well,
more Tobuscus.
We were obsessed with Tobuscus, and we wanted to make a YouTube show.
We wanted
but then
to be iCarly, and we were obsessed
yes,
with Tobuscus.
I came. My mom. I was in the car with my mom driving to your house, and my mom was like, "Have you guys thought about I think I was talking about an iCarly joke, and she was like, "Have you guys thought about trying to make a web series?" And I was like, "Aha, iRandom."
Yeah. So Dylan came to me with this idea, and I said, "Of course, let's do it."
Yes.
So we made it, and basically what it was we would sit down and talk for
3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Mhm.
We're really a fan of timed review shows, but we would
Yes.
talk.
It was like
and
a
it was
minute a topic.
a minute a topic, and the third topic was the random topic, which didn't work out that well because we'd always be like, "Now it's time for the random topic," and we
never
hadn't
planned it.
thought about it,
Yeah.
so we would just kind of sit there
But
and
it was a great sketch
ramble.
comedy show in that we had a lot of characters. We had Bobbert. Was he like a panther? or
Bobbert
what?
was a panther that you introduced to the show, and he would always be off camera, eating you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some interesting things, and then we started we would kind of do some vlogs sometimes, then we would do some sketches.
Mm-hmm.
The only sketch that I can think of is Where's Augie, but I feel
True.
like we had other ones.
We definitely. Oh, we had a tight sock, which was
That was
pillow
good. We
pets.
made a
It was
pillow pet parody
is
called
tight,
The Tight Sock.
and it's a sock. It's the tight sock.
And it was like a dark parody because they couldn't get the socks off, and I remember there was an explosion at one point.
One person's sock has a
That was
hole in
pretty
it.
good. And
Yeah.
so we were starting to kind of figure things out and create our own little tricks of how to do stuff. We were still
Yeah.
copying everything that we did,
Mhm.
but we were kind of learning to do new stuff. And then we made Where's Augie, which was kind of hey, welcome to another episode of iRandom. Oh my God, where's Augie? And then it's
Mhm.
the whole episode is spent searching for Augie instead of just talking.
And around this time, I believe, also was started Augie Tech News.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that wasn't an Augie Dylan production, but
No, that was
I had a separate channel. I branched off.
I didn't. I think I remember discovering it because it I think my dad showed it to me or something. I don't think you mentioned it to me. I think I was
I was a
Augie Tech
YouTube
News.
mogul, and I just couldn't be stopped from making channels. I had
Yes.
Augie Tech News, which is exactly what you think, and I went semi-viral because I sent my thing into my video into a famous YouTubers, and I was like, "Can I be on your channel and be a tech reporter on your channel?" And I didn't realize it, but he tweeted it out and said "Oh my God, this is me if I grew up in this generation," and I got 20,000 views.
and actually a lot of hate. I think on your.
I'm
Angry
about to
Band.
get there
Oh,
because
yes.
the video was saying I thought it was really funny to hate Angry Birds because everyone loved Angry Birds, and I was 12 and I was I hate Angry Birds. Everyone hated me. I was literally getting so much hate
Some of
in
these
the
comments are brutal.
They
it's
are
the
vile.
peak of YouTube brutality.
It's really brutal.
Cyberbullying.
But so yeah. Anyways, that was a good time. But we made iRandom, and we were basically just trying to be Tobuscus. I mean, we did the Tobuscus voice, which is
We did make a literal at one point.
we did make a literal. We didn't upload it.
No, we did not.
And so Tobuscus was a really famous YouTuber at the time, still is a YouTuber, and he was like really at the peak of his like powers, and like had like he was one of the top YouTubers.
Yeah.
And he kind of, I can't even do the voice anymore. I don't
Intro of darkness.
Yeah, it's like,
intro
hello,
of darkness.
audience.
Hello, audience.
Yeah.
I can't do it as well anymore either.
Anyways,
Used to be
so
great
he
at
had a very specific voice, and we would literally just copy it, kind of in the way like girls these days, or I guess a couple years ago, would like do Miranda sings like
Yeah.
religiously. We were kind of like,
Tobuscus was our god.
yeah. So we kept doing that, and then it kind of like plateaued. Like we didn't have that much, but then, oh yes.
Well, this is just, it might cause some nostalgia for people
yeah.
who were also making videos in this time, but there was also the flip camera phase, where I just got a flip camera.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
really excited about it.
That fills me with some feelings.
Yeah.
I also
we
got a
vlogged
flip
on it.
cam.
Oh, yeah, we would vlog on the flip cams.
Flip cams were an interesting time. They were these like,
I kind of want one now, actually. that I've
honestly,
remembered it.
if you can think of like when you used to have to use an iPhone and there was no front-facing camera, kind of like that, except you could only record for like 5 minutes at a time.
It really is like an iPhone, actually.
Yeah, it's like an
weird.
iPhone, but only the camera, and like
Yeah.
the iPhone 1,
Yes.
for those who remember. My
Yeah.
dad had an iPhone 1.
Oh, no way. I
Yeah.
think my
it's still
dad
in my
might have.
house. Still in my
Or no,
house.
well, wait. Yeah, I think my dad might
2007.
have. Yeah, I went BlackBerry, then I think iPhone 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so it kind of all plateaued, but I remember there was a big moment. Usually at this time, we were still kind of high concept, and we would never make it into reality.
No.
Then in 5th grade, we had to make a project. We had a project assigned.
Mhm.
We had to make some sort of project based off of a book that we read. So we decided on Tintin, The Adventures of Tintin, which is like it's like a graphic novel.
Yes.
It's not a book, but it counted. And one of the options you could do was you could make a video, or we asked if we could make a video
Yeah.
because that was like our passion. So this was the first time that we had that when we started something, we had to finish it.
And we threw ourselves into this thing. Like this was, I remember this being a big deal.
It was a big production. We set up a giant green screen,
Yeah.
like a real
Like a
green
real one
screen
this time,
this
yeah.
time.
We
We had
got
different sets.
costumes.
We had costumes, fake like beards and mustaches, like
Augie's older
different-
sister helped me with the Tintin hair.
yeah.
Because of course I was Tintin.
It was, look at him. How
Yeah.
could he not be?
Of course.
It was a very and we finished it. And that
Yeah.
was like one of those things where it was like sometimes you have to force yourself to finish because it's so easy to get stuck in something.
Yes.
Which gets me to something that we got stuck in, which was
Oh.
Dylan and I wrote a pilot
Mm.
for a show. It was a mystery adventure show based off of a Nick show called House of Anubis, which if you know, you know. But if you don't
Yes.
know, it's fine.
You don't
Just
know.
an adventure
Which
show.
actually, I rewatched it the other day. I still like that show. It's like my guilty pleasure.
Really?
I just went back. I'm not like rewatching the show, but I like watch an episode, and it's like maybe it's nostalgia, but I'm like, it's not a good show, but it's like it's a good show.
You can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it was kind of a cheesy show with like overacting, but it was like,
Yes.
it kept you going. It had
Yeah.
it had you in it.
The plot twists are crazy.
Yeah. So, we made one, and it was
Mhm.
called Nunquam Redono.
Which ironically is never give up in Latin.
I've never noticed that. So it was Never Give Up in Latin, and basically it was like it was the exact same concept of House of Anubis, except they weren't like living together. It was like 5 friends, and they get a note that's like, oh, you're gonna die, or the end is near, and
Yeah.
they set out on an adventure. So we made the pilot. We didn't make it. We wrote it.
Yes.
And, we had a big cast and all this stuff. So then my parents were like, well, both of our parents were like, well, you guys should actually make it. We're like, oh, okay. So
What have we gotten ourselves into?
we actually had to make something that we wanted to make. I don't know. So we cast it. We
Mhm.
just, picked our friends, which is still what we do when we make
Yeah, that
stuff.
hasn't changed at all.
Nothing changes. We picked our friends that we thought would be good for the parts, and we made it. I mean, we didn't make it. So sorry. We started with a table read.
Yes.
With the whole cast.
With great.
It was great. All the parents were there, which is kind of a weird experience, but good. And then
I think how it went too was there was no direction at this table read. If I remember correctly, I think we just read it and then it was like, yeah, that was great.
yeah, I mean
That was
that's usually how table reads work.
Oh, I thought that it's like we'll take the character a little bit more in this direction.
No,
Oh,
usually
then,
just
then it's a
read
good thing that we didn't do that. That's
Yeah,
super.
we knew we were good.
Yeah.
we were good at it already.
Oh, yeah.
No, we weren't. So then we set out a shooting schedule. We got a location
Yes.
of a school from a family friend, which was cool. Like I remember, like we have a partially finished behind the scenes of it, like where we're like touring the
Yeah.
school and all this stuff. And we shot a day of it with our friends, and we got a bunch of our friends
we
to
got
come and be
an adult,
extras.
like a real actress, adult,
A family
that's
friend.
a family friend. We
Yeah.
we like asked her to do
She
it.
was
She
the
helped out.
teacher.
She did great.
And she was great. It was all good. We had a friend's dad who like helped to be like the director of photography, quote unquote.
Who actually does that in real life? He's like a
all the people were
cinematographer.
like
Yeah.
actual pros.
It was
and they were
crazy.
donating their
We
time.
pulled all the stops.
Yeah, our
But then-
parents pulled all the stops. So
True.
so then we were like, we still had more to do, but we shot like half of it,
Yeah.
and we still had more to shoot on another day, which we
Yeah.
hadn't scheduled yet. And we never
No.
we never shot the rest of it.
If-
I have what we have edited on an old
maybe
computer. I
maybe
don't
we
even
can
know
pick
where
it
it
up
is.
now with the same actors. We'll just film the rest of it. And
I'm
finish
sure
the
they'd
pilot.
all be up for it. They're all
Yeah.
still very much.
It'd be really
into
funny if it just
acting.
cut to no, not at all. But it would be really funny
No
if it just cut to the
context.
same. Yeah, and we're just older.
We're literally like 8 years older, like all grown up. Whoa. Well, anyways, so that was kind of a thing where it kind of haunted me. And because
Broke my
like
heart.
we would see people like the adults that we worked with, and they'd be like, "When is it coming out?" Or like, "When is it going to be done?" And we'd be like, "Oh, soon."
No, they just stopped asking. They
And-
gave up.
Because we were so bad at finishing stuff.
Yeah.
And then we kind of like, we kept making stuff, but like we kind of took a break.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin came to us with a fresh idea based off of iRandom.
Wait, I feel like we're skipping something.
I don't think we are.
There was
Nunquam, iRandom kept going for a little bit.
we were gonna make a sitcom called Moving On, but that did not happen.
Well, that was in like second grade.
Yes. I'm just trying to think. I felt like there was something else, but
Well,
maybe
let's
not.
keep moving.
Yeah.
So then Kevin came to us with a fresh idea.
Yes.
It was a timed review show, much like iRandom, but more skits, jumped it up, and more
About
fun
video games
about
mostly,
video
too.
games and
Because this
movies.
was like is also it's important to mention even just for nostalgia purposes. This was like the peak of Minecraft.
yeah,
This was like
yeah,
not like even the beginning. This was like everybody was playing Minecraft,
and it was the peak of
the-
our Minecraft interest.
Yes, it was the golden age.
Yeah. So Kevin had this idea because Kevin had gotten really into YouTube because of us telling him about different YouTubers like
yeah.
Freddie W and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made it, and Kevin actually had a connection to Swoozy,
Yes.
who you probably know if you're listening. If you don't, he's a hilarious YouTuber. He's really grown in the past couple of years, like
yeah.
exponentially. Like he had a long time getting from like 1 million to 2 million, and now he's at like 6 or 7, which is like
Yeah.
awesome. But he gave us a shout out and on our first video, and I just remember like, first off, the video was really high quality. Like Kevin handled everything.
Yes, and it was. He also pulled in his friend who became one of the 1/4 of it, Clayton Cogswell.
Clayton
Plug it.
is
and
amazing. You'll see him in this week's office
Oh,
hours.
true.
If you
Yeah,
watch.
and he was the cinematographer mostly for it. He helped
and
us
just,
write.
He
but
just
he's
had such a creative, fun
he's-
thing that he brought
so
to it.
he brought so much. So it with them combined, it was so.
It was a power duo.
This was actually like very high quality, which I think, especially for the first season, I would put mostly on them. Like I wouldn't even.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't consider that a break.
no.
to
I mean,
say,
they
like,
did the
that.
editing. They
Yeah.
Kevin planned it out, and
Mhm.
like they were the
The
creative
first season
force.
was definitely like a mentorship for me and Augie, and like
Yeah.
they were making it.
Yeah. And the view, like we got so many subscribers in that first day. Like we might have gone up to like
I think we went to 1,000 on that.
yeah. I mean, it
And
was
then stayed
crazy.
there for a while, but Yeah, it was
we had never
awesome.
experienced that kind of success, and we never will.
well, we did later in that.
No, I'm just kidding.
in that YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, I know. So then we kept making stuff, and we actually had a fan base. It was the weirdest
Yes.
thing. We had people who were excited to see the next videos.
Mhm.
The only thing was they were so hard to make.
So it
and
would
they
be
took
like
so
a few
long
months
to make.
between videos.
And we've learned, I mean, everyone's basically learned the key to keeping subscribers and everything is consistency.
Yes.
Like once a week is good.
Yeah.
Once a month is not so good. Once every few months is
Terrible.
That's terrible. Which
Yeah.
sucks that that's how it is, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So we made more, and we kind of grew. We slowly grew,
Mhm.
and then the next turning point I could say,
It was Rocky.
yeah,
something.
was
Yeah.
video game preschool.
Which was based off our favorite web series at the
Video
time.
game high school. Still probably the best, one of the best web
So
series
good.
that there was. I mean, it was. If you don't know what it is, check it out. Like it's
It's on Netflix actually.
it's crazy.
Video game high school.
Yeah. Or on YouTube if you don't have it. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. It's a quite a watch that it's
Yeah.
all YouTube funded and all that stuff.
It's
Anyways,
crazy.
so we made Video Game Preschool. It was a parody. It wasn't like how we were with Tobuscus. It was like
Yeah.
actually referenced like we love Video Game High School. Here's our parody. And I remember I tweeted it to everyone involved in Rocket Jump. And I remember I was like in a CVS or something, and I looked, and I had like a notification from like Freddie Wong, and I was like, "What?" And they latched onto it, and they promoted it, and we got like 20,000 views on that.
We got and then that boosted us up to around where we are now. I think like 8,000 subscribers.
Well, there was one more thing that
Oh.
boosted us. So then we got talking to them. We got to tour their offices. They
Yeah.
invited us.
Gave us some merch.
It was amazing.
yeah.
And that was so cool. They like gave us a shout out at VidCon, and then at VidCon, one of the stars of the show
true.
said like, "Oh, I would be in one of your videos."
Yes.
We got her to be in a video. We made a Hunger Games parody, and that was so cool.
Shout
that
out
was
Ellery Porterfield. I
shout
don't know
out
if she's still
Ellery.
acting, but if she is, she's really good. So
Yeah, she's
if,
the
if there
best
just
and
so
very
happens to be like a
nice.
casting director, yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
So yeah, we had that, and the last big push for 240 was we or like in like virality was we made a video called Meeting Swoozie, which was in the theme of Swoozie's video, and this was in the time when on YouTube, if someone that you were subscribed to liked or commented on a video, you would see it in your
Yeah.
homepage. So we had this. It was this perfect timing.
Yeah.
The thumbnail looked exactly like a Swoozie video.
Mhm.
Swoozie liked and commented on it,
And it was
So-
right when he was blowing up
and
too.
everyone who was subscribed to him thought it was a new Swoozie video. So to this day, we have like 200,000 views on that video.
Yeah, it's crazy.
and that was crazy. So then we got into high school.
Well, wait.
yeah,
We also, it didn't actually turn into anything. We did do a meeting with Disney, but then what actually
Yeah,
did turn
we
into
did.
something is we did a sponsored video for Warner Brothers,
Oh
which
my
was probably
gosh.
our peak, and then did the total, which is still on YouTube. The totally
Top
Top
secret,
secret
Dylan and Augie project. So
project.
Warner Brothers asked us. They saw us. We did a promo video for them, which is really cool. We were hoping to do more 240 Reviews promo videos for them, but then they were like, "We want you guys to do a series for us and be in it." And we were like, "Okay." So we were in it. It was promoting Lego Dimensions. It was actually a really cool game. Kind
Yeah.
of sad that it went away. It was a really cool
It was
game.
really cool.
But we did a like web series for them. Like we got paid. We like took off days of school
It was
for
played
it.
in like GameStops and stuff. Like
I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Um,
got paid for that anyway. I don't know if it ever actually happened. But
Yeah. So, anyways, that was crazy. And then we kind of that was at the beginning of 9th grade.
Yes.
And then 9th grade hit, and it was just like such all these new things. We were doing the shows, and we were doing
theater shows. Yeah.
improv and all
Yeah.
this different stuff. So much more homework. Just he was in the film program, so he had
Yeah.
to handle that.
I
So
had to make actual film.
so 240 Reviews, it just kind of went ghost town.
Yes.
And we didn't really make that much stuff for a while. We didn't make stuff.
I made a lot of really bad film projects and
Yeah.
one pretty good one.
Which is weird to think that we were not making stuff for
It
like
is.
2.5 years.
It's really weird.
But
Aha!
one day,
That's like the part of the HBO documentary where they like play
Yeah.
the really sad music.
one day, we were hanging out during summer, and we were talking with friends and we were reminiscing about 240 reviews, and we watched this one video that is, I think, still online. That's like it's called like Where is 240 reviews? It's the best
So
thing
good.
ever.
It's like
It's this
kid.
little kid, and he's like, "Hey guys, I was just wondering like if anyone knows like where 240 reviews is. Like I really like their channel and they stopped uploading. So if
It's
anyone
so
knows,
cute.
it's the cutest thing ever."
To
And we
this
were like,
day, I wonder if he ever found when we started filming
he
it.
probably didn't. He
Mm.
probably forgot. And
Yeah.
then I was like, are we kind of like Dylan and I looked at each other and we are like, we should make another
Yeah.
we should make another like season of 240 reviews. And we're like, okay, let's do it. So this time I took the producing side of it,
Yeah.
and like I really planned it out, and I planned
Mhm.
out like what day each thing was going to premiere, and we started writing,
Yeah.
and we made a season 4 of 240 reviews, which was
Which we wrote. I mean, if you watch it, hopefully it shows in like Ben's character and stuff. If not, you should go watch it because we're pretty proud of it. I think
Yeah.
it turned out pretty good. But we from the beginning we tried to plan out like an overarching storyline that ends in the grand like 30-minute finale at the end. So go check that out if you want, or even just watch the finale and you'll kind of get a feel for like what we're talking about.
Yeah. And basically, like the point of 240 Review Season 4 was, can we set out to do something and do it?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't need to be high quality. We just needed to get something out at a certain time every month,
Mhm.
and for a certain amount of time, like deliver exactly what we promised.
Yes.
And we did it. And that was like, I think still like the most gratifying experience, like uploading the finale. Basically, for those who don't know, we had an old channel called 240 Reviews. We and then we uploaded an 8-episode season 4, and we set out the first Friday of every month would be a new episode, and we never missed a Friday. And we set out to do a crazy finale, and we had a 35-minute finale, which was all narrative, no review. And it was such a gratifying thing to have finally uploaded that and finish
to
it.
in the finale. I mean, I guess it's not really a spoiler because anybody who listens to this podcast knows that we're done with 240 now. But I always felt bad to just have kind of like, I guess, in the way that you ghost someone over text, have ghosted the like few
Abandoned.
fans that we had. Yeah. So then it felt good to actually be able to give them a solid ending.
Yeah, we there was closure.
Yeah.
There was closure at the end. So that was really cool. And throughout doing that, so the first person we recruited to our team was Ben.
Yes.
And he for being in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Then on episode 3, we needed someone to be the cameraman. And that's where Noah came in, and we got Noah and, history. And then the last edition was in episode 5.
It was
So,
actually
we needed, so we were
we
doing a
had
Western.
an actor for
Yeah, so,
there's
so
a sheriff character.
yeah, so we had so shout out Eli, we love you, you're amazing. One of our closest friends since, he was there throughout all of it. He wasn't so much in the video making stuff, but he was with us
And
throughout.
up to the project that we're working on now, and then hopefully in the future too, he is a recurring actor in most of our projects.
Yeah. So he was in a lot of the episodes. Like, we would always center, if it wasn't about one of us, like it would be about that random guy Eli.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, in this one it's gonna be a Western, and Eli's gonna be the sheriff. However, Eli told us that he couldn't because he was gonna be at Palm Springs.
Yes.
So we had to find a sheriff. We reached out to so many people, and all of them said they couldn't.
Yes. I cannot stress enough. Will was our last choice. No.
I was at a party with Will the night before, and I go, Will, do you want to be at a shoot tomorrow? And he was like, I guess. I have a golf, but like I can probably come a little bit later. And I was like, okay. Little did I know that would turn into not only our favorite character of 240 Reviews ever,
sure.
Sheriff Ed, but also he's on the team now, and
Yes.
he is leading some of our new series that we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, my point is, throughout that, we gained a small team that we worked really well with, and after we finished 240, we had a hiatus. where we didn't do anything, and then we were like, let's do a podcast. We are French Fox Productions. We knew that was the team of French Fox Productions, but we hadn't really made anything yet. And we were like, let's make a podcast. That's this podcast. Here we are, episode
Wow.
14.
Hope you just tripped out, but probably not, because I feel like
Probably
most
only
people
trippy
knew
to
where that was
us.
going. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we started Office Hours, the vlog.
Well, wait.
Oh.
I mean, we've referenced it, so I'm just going to reference
the
it
short.
vaguely again. We also set out to then, over this last summer, make a short film, which we did, and you'll get more details when it's out. But
We're teasing
We
it a
made it.
lot, and if you've been watching the videos or listening to the podcast, you know it's coming.
yeah,
and
it's in post-production right now.
we are not going to tease it too much. We just want to get stuff to you for trailers and stuff.
Yes.
So we're not going to be ooh, you can't know yet. As soon as we have something, we're going to get it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we said it. We made a short. We've been making ads and stuff for some companies, which is cool to be hired for that.
Mhm.
And just now, in the past month, we started the new wave of French Fox, kind of the first wave of content. And that's why we have Office Hours, which is our vlog. If you don't know, we're doing this podcast.
And more is to come.
We have so much to
and
come.
that I will shamelessly tease. You can't know yet, but you will.
We have stuff for French Fox channel. We have more podcasts coming. We
Branching
have
out.
Yeah, we have more channels coming.
Yes.
So basically, Dylan and I go way back, and here we are, and we're still going strong, and I'm
Yeah.
very pleased with it, and I'm very excited for this next chapter of French Fox goodness.
And I feel like this is a good moment to announce I am leaving French Fox Productions.
So it's been
Sorry,
fun.
Augie.
Um,
I'm just going to leave the mic. In case you didn't notice, that was a joke. I'm still here.
yeah, he's not leaving. Then it would just be Fox Productions, and we
Wait,
have
no, then it would be French. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, French Productions.
I'm the Fox. He's
Yeah,
the French.
I
Because
get
he's French.
confused.
And,
I just wanted to make the joke that it would just be Fox Productions, and then we'd have a legal case on our hands.
no, that would be
with
my-
21st
I guess,
century
I mean, you could
Fox.
still say then my production company would get a legal problem.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't expect to this podcast to be like this. I understand if you didn't enjoy it, but if you didn't enjoy it, you're probably not here anymore.
Oh, so they don't get the apology. Wait,
Oh,
I have an
dang it.
idea. Skip to the end if you're not enjoying it, and then you can hear this apology.
They won't because.
What?
Anyways, I didn't know we were gonna do it like this. No one couldn't come. Ben had a thing come up.
I'm sure we'll hear about it in the next since we last spoke.
Maybe.
maybe not.
So, but I'm glad that it worked out this way. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure how this podcast is going to read. We basically just talked about ourselves for
It's either
45
gonna sound
minutes.
really egotistical, or it'll be cool.
Probably.
Or maybe it'll sound really egotistical, but then it'll be okay if we ever get big,
Maybe.
which is egotistical in of itself to say.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, we're really proud of our past and what is coming soon. And so I don't really know how to do an outro, the musical
French
outro.
Fox.
Nope, that's the intro.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just finish it off with another intimate outro, as intimate as the
Oh,
the
nice.
episode was. So Dylan, do you have anything to say to him?
Oh shoot! My plan was that the thing that I forgot to say in the beginning, I was going to say at the end, but I forgot,
forgot it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we this podcast comes out every Thursday. Office Hours, our vlog where we go behind the scenes on everything French Fox, comes out every Sunday. So check both of those out
Mhm.
every week if you enjoyed this. If you didn't enjoy this, check out Office Hours. It's a totally different vibe. Or check out a different episode of our podcast. It's also a different vibe. We have a lot of
Sure.
new stuff coming soon. A rating on iTunes would be awesome, or comment on this. We just love to hear feedback.
Mhm.
You know?
If you didn't like this episode, feel free to still check out the other episodes. As he said, they're very different. If you did like this episode, sorry, there's no more
There's
episodes
no more
like
episodes like this.
this. But maybe leave a comment, and then I don't know. We're making new. I don't know.
So yeah, if you got this far, comment.
Locomotive. Wait, no.
No,
Aeroplane.
I random.
Oh, there you go.
Comment I random,
I read.
or tweet it to us or something.
Yeah.
But we appreciate all of you for listening. It's been a weird podcast, but I've enjoyed it. I feel like it's been a fun conversation.
I always like talking about myself.
of course. So with that being said, today we had Dylan.
Thank you.
Still couldn't remember.
No.
And I am Augie. Thanks so much for listening, guys.
I forgot there was a camera.
Psh.
Sorry.